What if your AI could actually see your world? I mean, really see it. Not just read your texts, but look through your camera and understand the physical space you're in. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's happening right now, and it's about to change, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. We're going to talk about the massive vision upgrade that AI has been getting. We'll explore how it went from being a text-based tool, kind of blind to the world, to an active agent that can see, perceive, and actually interact with its surroundings.
Here's the game plan for this explainer. We'll kick things off with AI's original vision problem. Then we'll get into the incredible multimodal breakthrough that really solved it. After that, we'll look at some amazing real-world examples, and then explore the shift from just seeing to actually doing. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at the new kind of AI that makes all this possible.
So first up, AI's vision problem. See, before AI could see, it was fundamentally stuck. It was living in a world of pure text, and that came with some serious limitations.
The heart of the problem was this. Early AI was unimodal. It really only understood one type of data. You'd put text in, and you'd get text out. Simple. But our world isn't just text, is it? We live in a rich, multimodal world full of sights and sounds and language. So the big goal was to build a multimodal AI that could process all of these things at once, a lot more like how we do.
For a long time, progress in computer vision was just painfully slow, and for a few big reasons. First, the datasets were incredibly expensive to create. I mean, ImageNet alone needed something like 25,000 people just to label photos. Then the models themselves had tunnel vision. One trained to spot cats couldn't recognize a dog to save its life. And maybe worst of all, they were brittle. They might have looked great in the lab, but they often failed completely when faced with the messy, unpredictable real world.
So, how did we get past all these roadblocks? Well, that brings us to the multimodal breakthrough, the moment we really taught AI how to see.
To really get a feel for this, let's use a simple example that we'll keep coming back to. Imagine you see a broken bicycle, and you just point your phone's camera at it. What is actually going on inside the AI's mind as it tries to figure out what's wrong? It's a fascinating four-stage process. First is what's called patching and mapping. The AI breaks the image into little squares and identifies all the key parts, the chain, the gears, you name it. Then, it moves to anomaly detection. It compares what it's seeing to its huge library of what a normal bike looks like, and it realizes, hang on, that chain shouldn't be there. That's physically impossible. The third step is multi-turn refinement. If the picture's a bit blurry, it'll actually ask you, hey, can you move the camera a little closer? This is active vision in action. Finally, there's functional synthesis. This is where it connects the visual problem to its internal repair guide to figure out the root cause. It's not just a dropped chain, it's a bent derailleur hanger. But here's the really cool part. How does the AI connect the word wrench with the image of a wrench? It happens in something called a shared latent space. The best way to think about it is like a universal dictionary. It's a place where the concept of a wrench, whether it's the written word or a picture, gets translated to the exact same mathematical point. This is the secret sauce that lets language and vision finally talk to each other. Okay, so now that we've peeked behind the curtain at the theory, let's see how this incredible vision upgrade is actually being used out in the real world today.
Let's start with healthcare. Instead of trying to describe a weird skin rash to a chatbot, you can now just send a photo. A multimodal AI can look at that picture, instantly compare it against a massive database of dermatology cases, and give you a potential analysis in seconds. It's a game changer.
Or think about your home. A smart home with vision can see you struggling through the door with your arms full of groceries and proactively open the smart fridge for you. It's not just waiting for a command anymore. It's anticipating what you need based on what it sees.
And this technology isn't just about one kind of output either. Think about this. You point your phone at a menu in a foreign language. The AI doesn't just give you a text translation. No, it can visually replace the words right on your screen using augmented reality and verbally explain what the ingredients are, all at the same time.
And all of this is leading us to the next massive leap forward. Because, it's one thing for an AI to see and understand the world. It is a whole other thing for it to actually act on that understanding. And that's what we call agentic action. It's the huge shift from a passive assistant that just gives you information to an active agent that goes out and gets tasks done for you. It's the difference between being told how to do something and just having it done. Let's go back to our broken bike one last time.
An AI assistant, like what we've had with GPT-4, would look at the bike, diagnose the problem, and say, "You need a derailleur's alignment tool." Helpful, right? But an AI agent, powered by a next-gen model like GPT-5, it goes so much further. It diagnoses the problem, identifies the exact replacement part you need, right down to the specific bolt, and then it goes online and orders it for you. Now that is the future.
So what kind of magic tech makes this huge jump from a helpful assistant to a proactive agent possible? Well, it really requires a fundamental change in how the AI is built.
I mean, just look at how fast things are moving. It feels like yesterday, but in 2020 we had GPT-3, which was a master of text. By 2023, GPT-4 could see images. Then in 2024, GPT-4o made that interaction happen in real time. And now we're looking at models like GPT-5, which use a totally new architecture designed specifically for these complex agentic tasks.
The key innovation is a really clever hybrid system. So instead of having one massive, slow model handle everything, there's a smart router at the front door. If you ask a simple question, it sends it to a small, fast, super efficient model. But if you ask it to do something complex, like diagnose that bike and order the part, it routes that request to a much bigger, more powerful model built for reasoning. That efficiency is what makes all of this agentic action practical.
So, we've gone on this incredible journey, from an AI that was blind to one that can see, and now to one that can actually act in the world on our behalf. This technology is becoming a true collaborator. So I guess the final and most important question isn't really about what the AI can do anymore, it's about what we'll ask it to do next.